I'm Alex.
I'm Warren.
And I'm Kirby.
And this is the Real Gamerscore podcast. We are your source for Xbox achievement news, Gamerscore tips, and digivolving achievements. This week we talk about how easy it is to auto-renew on Patreon, the travesty of improperly reflected ratios, and soul doors. But first, here's the song of the week. He stores his gear safely inside his backpack. His backpack contains the crucial. Harassed by strangers whose weapons can cripple, the defense has to be brutal. All alone back against the wall, he reaches inside his backpack. He didn't want to use this now. They forced his hand, and now he will make them regret. Oh, now he will make them regret.
It sounds very familiar. I'm going to take a stab at the artist, and I'm going to be embarrassed when it's wrong. It's not My Chemical Romance, is it?
No, it's not, but okay. You're probably not that far away.
I mean, they're right.
Oh, wow.
They're right.
But I'm probably very wrong.
For
some reason, I was thinking Anti-Flag.
Anti-Flag, man. I love Anti-Flag. But no, it's not Anti-Flag.
No, I feel like I should know it, and I bet when you say it, I will realise what it is, obviously.
Well, do you want me to reveal what it is, or do we want to see if some of the listeners in Discord or on Twitter will guess it?
Alright, yeah, we'll hold it. Obviously, they have to message you, because if they message me telling me what it is, I won't know, so don't message me, that would be silly. Send a message on Twitter or through Discord to ProfessorPluto, or you send it to the Real Gamerscore account on Twitter. And
and what your guess is. So
what your guess is.
If you need to listen to it again, just go like a minute back and have a second listen. Yeah.
Rewind past the stupid of us not knowing.
I'll tell you guys when we're in the break what the song was. So like I said just before the show started, this had 18 million views on YouTube. So
I'm just going to search up all videos with 18 million views.
Okay. All right, well, here we are, episode 36. We've got a pretty good show lined up, I reckon, but we've got the usual plugs for the Discord. If you did want to come and join us, pause this show right now. Go to discord.io/realgamerscore. You can join us there. If you would like to support us financially, we'd really appreciate it if you could. That's patreon.com/realgamerscore. We've got 3 tiers over there. Check out the rewards, and if you would like to support us, we would really appreciate that. Having said that, we've got the Patreon draw this show, right?
We do,
Jim?
Yep.
Yes. All right. Do you want to tell everyone who the winner of that was and what they win?
Yep, sure. So we had our draw for March. Now that all the April money's come in, and I've spent it all, wasted at the casino. So we've got our winner for March. We have Tatey.
Oh, was that a drum roll we were supposed to drum?
No, you weren't supposed to drum.
I missed that, sorry.
I was going to say it, but I'm like, I can't be bothered. No, Tatey. Tatey, man, I hope there's not numbers in that name. There might be. I don't think there is, but...
I don't think there is either, actually. I think
there's
it's
not.
Just Tatey.
Yay, Tatey. Yeah, you won. So send me a message on Discord or on True Achievements, and we'll sort out your prize of ID at Xbox title.
Yes, of his choice as well.
Of your choice, yeah.
All right.
Don't rob me dry. Don't get don't find the $100 ID at Xbox title that I didn't know existed. Don't be like that.
All right, and have we got the random to-do list draw as well? Today,
yes, I did the March random to-do list drawing. We also will have a new contest for April that I'll talk about as soon as we've set our winner. This time I'll get you guys to do a drum roll because mine was terrible.
This is the worst drum roll.
Yeah. McLovin Legend 1.
Oh, the big McLovin.
Yeah.
Get around him.
He's lucky because I almost put him in a different spot because he's got the same gamer pick on True Achievements as someone else who enters, Ben72L. They've got the same...
Ben L72?
Yeah, Ben L72, sorry. They've got the same gamer pick. I almost swapped them. because I saw that and went, oh, that's this person, and then read the name and oh wait, no, it's McLovin. And for you're lucky. I mean, not lucky for Ben now that he's heard how close he was to winning. It's unfortunate for him, but
oh, poor Ben.
Yeah. Anyway,
so what does he win a copy of?
He has won a copy of Attack of the Earthlings, which I tried on the weekend. It's basically the little bit I played is kind of similar to an XCOM type game, except you're the aliens and the bad guys are the humans, filthy, stinky humans. It was pretty fun.
Okay.
The hour or so that I touched of it.
Pigskins.
Chocolate Bear's just walking with his children. He's just turned around with his headphones gone. He's talking. All right. Well, there we go. So we got a new random to-do list contest starting up, right?
Yes, we do.
So we'll just interject there. If you want to join the random to-do list, you can send a private message on Discord or on True Achievements to you, right, Chin?
Yep, to me.
You can roll a new list for people.
Or you can send it to the random to-do list account on True Achievements, whichever you prefer. I see both of them anyway, so it's all handled through me.
And so the random to-do list is a list of 20 random achievements
25.
from your... Sorry, yes, I'm thinking UHH. It's 25. So it's 25 random achievements from your locked achievements pool. It's governed by your game collection on True Achievements. So you can cut it down or add games that you want to play you might not have started. So, get into the contest. The requirement to join is that you know the answer to a trivia question and that you have unlocked at least one achievement on the random to-do list for that month. What is this question? What's the trivia question?
So the question is, send the name of another game with the word bomb in the title. And that's because, I don't know, there's a fair few, some of the easy ones. Maybe I should exclude Bomberman. So
no, don't do that.
No Bomberman titles, there's still plenty up there. No. But the prize then is a game that's coming out Friday, I think. It's called Flutter Bombs. It's a twin stick shooter where you play as a butterfly and other bugs are your enemies. It
sounds like A Bug's Life, but you're a butterfly instead.
You're a beautiful butterfly.
Is that supposed to be from that movie? I don't know.
There's a terrible accent, but it's the big fat caterpillar turns into a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah, I remember that caterpillar.
Yeah, that was a terrible attempt at comedy from my part, not from theirs. They did it well. But yeah, no, it's again, I just dived it so that I could sort of see what it was about, so that I wasn't offering up a awful game as a prize. But looks pretty good. Just felt pretty solid. Yeah, reasonably fun in the one level that I played.
Okay. Well, with the preamble done, we're going to go straight over to the news. So there's a few interesting articles floating around this week that we've picked out. So the first one, obviously near and dear to my heart, and I guess we could say near and dear to your heart as well, Kirby.
Yeah, no, I mean, not recently, but I haven't been back for a while.
Yeah, we haven't been on for a while.
After this news, I'll definitely get back in.
All right, so Rocket League is getting a new update coming soon, which will include an esports shop and the Rocket Pass 3, which is also coming soon. So the esports shop is going to be where you can buy like skins and decals and items in-game to decorate your car that are themed like the esports teams, like Dignitas and Cloud9. And that's really all.
G2, Ghost Gaming.
Do they have teams?
Yeah, Flipside Tactics. Who is it that? NRG.
Okay. So you've obviously paid more attention than I have. I don't pay attention to the team names. I just pay attention to the game. Anyway, so that's all coming. The Rocket Pass 3 obviously is just the same as Rocket Pass 1 and 2. But apparently it's going to have a challenge system in it as well, so more information is going to come out about that. That Rocket Pass 3 will go live on the 17th of April. Now, what's this? Replay FX, a brand new tool set which features visual editing options for match replays. Yeah, that's probably going to be PC only.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Would you be interested in the esports shop at all?
Nah.
No.
The only way I'd be interested is if the items that you could get from the esports shop were cooler than the ones you can get not from
Just
the
from
esports
boxes,
shop.
yeah. And
yeah, it's not. I don't support an esports team, so
yeah,
I
fair
wouldn't
enough.
put their stuff on my car. I just like watching the games.
Yeah. See, because I assuming it isn't too ridiculously priced, I'll probably buy something from Cloud9. I don't pick Cloud9 because I'm like for anyone that knows, Cloud9's reasonably good. They've probably got one of the...
They have esports along a lot of different games.
Yeah. I initially got into Cloud9 through Overwatch. I think they have CSGO as well and stuff, but because I went with them for Overwatch, I just was like, oh, they have a Rocket League team too as well. I guess I'll go for them, knowing nothing about them, and the Overwatch team was terrible and the Rocket League team wasn't terrible.
Is that why you go for the Port Adelaide football team?
No.
Because you know nothing about football?
I know lots about football, but not when I picked my team when I was 8, 7, whatever. It's a funny story about that. I picked them, and then that year we won a premiership, and I was like, oh, I picked a really good team. We're legends. And then it all went downhill from there, and my life was a shambles.
Oh.
So football, we're talking pigskins, right?
No, Sharon.
Something like that. Sharon?
Sharon.
Sharon?
We're chasing a ball around called Sharon. Have you not seen that Will Ferrell ad?
Sharon.
There's a Will Ferrell ad for the AFL Grand Final. It's brilliant. You should watch it. No, but yeah, Rocket Pass 3. That's good. I earned enough keys in Rocket Pass 2 that I can just buy this with that, so I don't have to spend any more money, which is nice. Interested to see what the challenge system is, whether it's... I assume it's going to be like daily quests. So...
I don't know, it might be like score...
Yeah, like
600 goals in the season or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. I would think dailies would work better because when you give someone a really long-term goal, unless it's like a quest board and you can accept what you want. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that gets implemented. But yeah, looking forward to this. April 17th that goes live, so I'll be getting back into it then for sure.
So I just had a quick scroll down to the comments, which I really don't know why I ever do this on any type of social media, but I do because I'm fascinated. But V Sully is the first person to comment. You guys know V Sully, right? From True Achievements. Mm-hmm. What do you think they've said?
Rocket League is the absolute worst in the world. I hate Rocket League. Scum of the earth.
Have a guess?
I'm going to say they probably love Rocket League.
No. Listen, please, no more achievements. Then...
Hello, emails.
Hello. Then someone's quoted him, crossed out the no, and said fixed. Actually, Jimbot UK, one of the fifth person to comment, more achievements will be awesome. Some actual difficult, non-trivial ones would be even better. Jimbot, you don't go running your mouth like that, okay? We can't all be in High Diamond or Champ. I'm a long time away from that. So let's not have anything
achievements. Let's get to GC achievement.
Okay.
Carry you there, don't worry, buddy.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Alright. Okay, let's move on from Rocket League because we could talk about it all night because Rocket League is the juice. Alright, we've got another article here. So it's about the UK governing body to investigate Xbox's auto-renewal practices. So... Planting, I think you were introducing this one? Yeah, got it right.
From what I saw, it's all good. I saw this was on the... there was an article on the BBC a while back I had read about it, but True Achievements put up an article, True Trophies put up an article. I'm seeing other ones on the internet that involve more than just Xbox. But basically, looks like the UK is looking to find out if the auto-renew practices of Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and probably other companies that function like them are cool, if they're kosher or not. And I don't know if you're familiar with using them. I know I use cards specifically because I hate the auto-renewal stuff. But the idea is you put in your banking details, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, is you're getting charged for another 12 months of Live or another 3 months of Game Pass or whatever it is. And I think they want to have a little better control on the console side specifically, because as it stands, you pretty much need to do anything on PC to fix this. So I guess what they want to figure out is whether or not the contract terms are unfair. Do you have the ability to? Is the company have the ability to kind of change things on the fly, or do they notify you these changing prices, stuff like that? Because I think didn't the UK just up their price for Live? Maybe that's what prompted this.
Yeah,
I think
it went up £10.
In Australia as well. Yeah,
I don't know if it happened in Australia. I know there are a couple other European countries that got hit. I'm fairly certain Sweden went up. If not Sweden, like Denmark or one of those countries also went up a roughly equivalent amount of £10.
So I'm not sure if that was a factor in this, perhaps, but if nothing else, it might have helped spur it along a little quicker, because all of a sudden, people are getting slapped with a renewal for $10 more a month than they were anticipating. I guess they also want to check out whether or not it's easy enough to cancel or obtain a refund, because I don't know if you're familiar with trying to do this on your console, but from what I can understand, you can't change auto-renew on your console. You got to log on to your PC and do stuff on your account. And then I guess they also want to make sure that their auto-renewal process is fair, so that you're kind of clearly told what your membership's going to be, or reminded that you're going to get rolled over with payments and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, I like the idea that they're actually checking into it, because I don't like the auto-renewal idea. I specifically use prepaid cards to avoid these issues. So if they're going to address them in the UK, maybe these companies, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, etc., will all kind of improve their services in general, so that it's not like I'm leery of putting my banking details on my account,
Well, I also have mine done by a prepaid card. I wonder how many people continue to get charged for these things when they just aren't using them and forget to cancel them. Having said that, I mean, I think it's probably entirely your own fault that you forgot that you had a subscription service, but I think it would be nice if they implemented a feature where, every 6 or 12 months, automatically in emails comes to your inbox and goes, hey, do you realise you're still paying for your Xbox Live or Game Pass or something if you set it to auto-renew? Just something like that, you go, you know what, you subscribe to this, the onus is on you to cancel it, and we also send you reminder emails when we don't necessarily have to. It really is on you. So just something like that, I think, was probably the only thing I'd expect to see out of it. But having said that, like you, Planting, I only use the prepaid cards for reasons I've mentioned on previous podcasts. I don't want to put my credit card or my bank details into the Xbox network.
Yeah.
Who knows when the next Lizard Squad comes along,
Christmas time, right?
Usually.
Yeah. So I'm the same in terms of Xbox Live Gold. I'm almost all prepaid cards, but that's because I earn so many Microsoft reward points that converting them into Australian dollar gift cards is basically worthless, so I may as well get Xbox Live Gold cards instead. So, I mean, I'm set for the next 3 years, and I think I have 2 or 3 years in codes just sitting in a Excel document on my laptop. The thing is, with the amount, when you forget that you've got the subscription, the amount of subscription services that are around and available today, I can fully understand someone not remembering that they've got this up, especially if they're not using their Xbox. If it's something they haven't used and go, oh, I'll cancel it when my subscription's going to end or whatever, and then it won't auto-renew, and you just forget. I mean, I feel like I'm still paying for Spotify Premium every month, but I don't know. I don't know if that's something I've cancelled and had a certain amount of time or what, because I either don't notice when the money comes out of my account because it's so small, or I paid for a certain amount in advance somehow. But, you have 10 to 12 little $6 to $10 charges, adds up quickly, but you may not notice them, especially if they're spread out throughout the month. You have 2 in the first week, a couple in the second. I can understand why this would need to be looked into.
I'm just thinking, what I actually have that's a regular direct debit on my account. I have two
private
things.
health cover. I've got
private health insurance and my car insurance. That's it.
Spotify Premium. I will have my Telstra bill. My phone bill is automatically paid through my card or my account. Power and water bills, I do a direct debit every month. So when I get my bill, it's usually covered. Or every week or fortnight. I can't remember which. Again, I'm paying something.
But they send you at least an email saying this is your bill.
Yeah, and usually it's in the positive because I pay $50 a fortnight or whatever, or a week, and that covers it. Mm-hmm. So usually I'm in credit, but again, that's something where I don't even know if I'm paying it weekly or fortnightly because I've been doing it so long I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe if they were a little more granular with when you get close to the end of your billing period, have some sort of a notification on top of your profile, or when you log in, have it pop up like a notification charm that said, your billing cycle is about over, auto renew will start tomorrow or in X days. That's all they really need to do is give you some kind of visual notification that this is going to happen soon. And then if you hold down your guide button, it would bring you into your auto-renew settings, and you could then change if you wanted to add the billing on or do whatever you wanted to do, add another code, etc.
Yeah.
There's definitely easier ways that they could get around this, but they really do need to make this a little simpler for people.
Well, I think there's a reason that so many places are coming out with subscription services rather than upfronts. I would suspect that it makes an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just sort of like gift cards. I mean, how many times do you buy gift cards for something because they know you're not going to use them? So it's in their best interest. It's sort of like these subscription services. They're kind of banking that you're going to forget and let it renew at least once or twice before you go, oh yeah, that's right, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
That happened to me with the WWE Network. I reckon it was the start of 2018. I got the free 30-day trial so I could watch the Royal Rumble, and the next pay-per-view was, I think, 25 days after, and that was the day I was going to cancel it, and that's when it renewed. It said it's a free 30-day subscription, so
yeah,
I cancelled the following month, 20 days after, to make sure I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
It cost me $16 or
CBS
something,
Access.
but it's whatever. I don't even know if I watched the pay-per-view after that. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what the UK governing body has to say about that, because it'll be interesting if things have to change. All right.
CMA. Competitions and Markets Authority. CMA. CMA.
Okay.
Okay.
It's very different to FEMA. All right.
Oh, I didn't say FEMA. Jeez.
I know. All right, so then we've got this next article here, which, I don't know, I found this article hard to take seriously when I read it during the week, but it has some good points in there that we would like to talk about. Chin, I think you wanted to introduce this one.
Yeah, so this was brought up in the AH101 Discord by Eliphalet77, Eliphalet11, Eliphalet
77.
77.
Eliphalet 77, yes.
Nailed it. As soon as I add numbers, I just stop caring and forget, because numbers are bad. So Eliphalet dropped this article. I guess you would call it an article. I don't know. Op-ed, maybe. Xbox achievements need to evolve. So it's discussing how with the next generation of consoles, it's been over 10 years, things need to change to freshen it up, to make it new again. And so they've got a bunch of points that we'll go through one by one, just sort of give a little rundown of what we think.
Yeah. 7 points by the looks of it.
Yeah, I want to preface this by saying they call themselves, I think they had called themselves an achievement hunter of sorts. They have, at the time of writing this article, they had 62,605 Gamerscore and had been in the Xbox ecosystem for 15 years. not necessarily always playing. I mean, they'd mentioned switching to PlayStation, but for me, even that 15 years, 62,000, that's less of an achievement hunter and more I got achievements while playing a game.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to be like, oh, 62,000, that's terrible, because it's not, but I feel like in 15 years, if you're achievement hunting, you'll probably do better than that. In 15 years, I mean...
Yeah, it depends.
I mean, his screenshot shows 9 years of live, so...
Yeah, okay, that's...
I mean, but still, yeah, in even over 9 years of playing, I would expect... Again, if you're calling yourself an achievement hunter as opposed to just I'm playing the games for their achievements and enjoying the achievements that come along with,
to put it in perspective, if they were achievement hunting for 15 years straight, that's 4,174 per year.
Yeah.
And given that you said they've taken a break, assume that they took 5 years out, that's 6,261 per year. Which, we're not slapping them down and going, you know what, mate, you suck, you only get 6,000 gamers score a year. But I think when you think of achievement hunter, I think you probably think higher numbers than that. If you
over that period of time, at least.
Yeah, I guess achievement hunters, though, come in different forms. Like he's mentioned some tough achievements here.
I'd like to see more, I would have liked to see more statistics specific on him, like completion percentage, that kind of stuff, the stuff that we would see on True Achievements. But, not a big deal. We just say caveat, he's not as intense an achievement hunter as many of our community is. That's all. He may be an achievement hunter, but he's certainly not as hardcore, I guess, is not a great word, but the word you might use for what our community is.
In terms of full-on scoring alone, I guess we'll put it like that. Anyway, we'll stop caveating it. Let's go through the list.
Because he'll have like a 5.0 ratio with that 62,000.
Yeah. Or 100% completion. Or
First suggestion, hit the reset button. Wipe everything back to 0. Start again with the new line of consoles.
I almost want to say... Sorry, I want to interject.
No, that's pretty much it. Go.
With his gamer score as low as it is, I feel that that's the only reason that this one is even on the list. People... I'd say a good chunk of TA. If you're looking at, for me, $600,000, I would be aghast at restarting. So I'm almost wondering if maybe this is almost like a positional kind of thing. Like, some people who aren't quite as attached to their score may be okay with this one, and that might be why he even listed it.
Yeah. I think we mentioned this. I don't know if it was in our Discord or another Discord, but I said the same thing. I said, what are you going to do? You're going to tell Stallion, and keep in mind that I believe, and you guys might correct me if I'm wrong, Stallion was Microsoft sponsored to stay number 1 in Gamerscore for a very long time.
I don't know if he was sponsored.
I don't know if he was sponsored. I know he got lifetime gold
for it. Yeah.
For being first to a million.
You're just going to turn around to your poster boy, who's, 2-point-something million Gamerscore go, sorry, mate, we're starting again.
Second place, though, I think, now. Now that he's hit 2 million,
yeah, Smirnov took him.
He's pretty much stopped hunting for points.
Yeah.
So I think Smirnov has firmly taken first place.
You just would not say that. You wouldn't go, hey, Smirnov, hey, Redemption denied, hey, who else is up there?
Celtic Force.
Sorry. I was thinking Celtic Force, but is that the top 4?
Yep.
Redemption, Celtic, Stallion, Smirnov. Estru, the big Aussie. All right. So, yeah, hit the reset button. Never going to happen. What's the next one?
Well, okay. For that, if they were going to do this, I could see them, rather than resetting, having, separate. So this is your this gen score. Any score you get on previous consoles will add up to that. This is your next gen Scarlet score, and then you have a combined score that you can also see. If they were going to reset it, that's how I would think they would do it. You've still got your legacy score, and you can still build on it with your legacy console and games. But moving forward with our new console, this is, a new score. Because I think that...
Yeah, I don't see it.
There's also that thrill of hitting your first 100,000. And with a soft reset, you'd almost call it like that. That thrill of being the first to 100,000 and that chase kind of gets back into some people, I guess.
So I reckon the reason they wouldn't do it is because I know a lot of people at the start of the Xbox One life cycle were kind of on the fence. Oh, am I going to go to PlayStation? Am I going to go to Xbox? It's like, oh, man, I've already got 125,000 Gamerscore. I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
And I would suggest that there's a high correlation of games purchased for achievement hunters. They're your free-to-play games whales equivalent on Xbox. You're going to go, sorry, mate, going back to zero. And they go, right, I'm done. PlayStation, come at me. Or Switch, come at me.
Yeah.
You're going to drive your whales
it's their
out
tether
the door.
Into the Xbox ecosystem.
Microsoft, there's no doubt in my mind that Microsoft would have data on achievement hunters, and they would see a very high correlation between people that have, 100, 200, 300, a million gamer score and the amount of games that they buy.
Dumb games.
And they would say...
Stupid games. Games on sale. All that stuff.
They would know. They would have data on us. You'd be scared
games.
to know, probably. Yep.
Yeah. All right, next suggestion. Adding a platinum trophy equivalent. So they talk about how Sony got its trophies in later, but they added a platinum, which they don't seem to understand that the platinum trophy itself is, whilst PlayStation provide the platform to allow that, it's up to the devs. I mean, most major devs do it because they understand that that's a thing, but a lot of indie titles won't have a platinum, or I think even aren't allowed to have a platinum. I think you have to have like a certain level of quality before you're allowed to have a platinum trophy, before Sony will let you. So it's not like all titles get the platinum trophy. There is a bit of filtering for quality, and we don't have it in the greatest way, but we technically already do have these. They're awful. They break half the time, but we do have our get all other achievements. If they worked, if they were flawless, I could see this being a good idea. The first thing to allow for that is for people to, and for the most part, it's devs sorting out their trophies and coding for PlayStation and then porting it to Xbox, which is why it breaks, because the system is different. The system checks things differently, and that's why the get all achievements can break, because they're looking for something that has triggered in a different way than it would on PlayStation.
Yeah. I think I would like to see it. I have a look. I just scrolled up to old mate's profile, and I'm like, there's a lot of just blank color space there where you could put things. I think people have been asking for badges like this on their profile for a while.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'm not really too fussed about it because True Achievements has that badge.
Yeah.
I'd like if they put it on, I'd use it, but I'm not really too fussed about it.
No, I was never here for it, but I feel like I heard people talk about that there was like a completion counter on the 360 on one of the dashboards in the olden days. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
So it's
you'd
not
go
like,
next to your games tab, and it would show you how many you completed.
Yeah, so it's not like it's far-fetched that Microsoft have never done it before. I just think there's probably a better way to do it than use an achievement for it.
It didn't put it on your profile.
I think it's actually
though.
still on the dash. I think it's just buried on the 360 dash nowadays.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, didn't even know that. So, yeah, I think that's not the worst idea, but it depends on implementation, as always.
Well, honestly, I think I'm kind of against it, specifically for the reasons he's explained he likes it. He said that Sony wanted to try to make themselves stand out by putting in the Platinum Trophy. Why should Microsoft adopt Sony's standard if Sony was trying to make their own way? I mean, I don't understand why we should adopt it just because they've done it. I mean, Sony was trying to make their own path, and now you're just saying, yeah, I guess what? Well, let's just adopt it in here.
Yeah, I guess that's a good path.
It's
we'll do
not
it
really a great reason for it.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point, yeah. He does it, so we should probably do it too. We don't know if people like Platinum Trophies on Sony, but we'll just assume they do. Maybe, and then he goes and says, some kind of indicator or mark to show that a game is complete if you look at it on your profile.
That's one thing, and that I could totally be behind. You know, but then again, there already is. If the thing's got 1,000 Gamerscore and you've got 1,000 Gamerscore, then
and all the achievements
do have a mark. That's true. You're right. There's 0Gs occasionally that may not.
0G achievements still count towards your completion. I agree with you, Planting. And anyone who disagrees is probably not a good person. They should just go back to taking care of their kid.
Radolus hedge. All right,
Are we
what's the
talking
next
Titanfall
one?
or something?
Yeah. Yep.
So, deeper rarity tracking. So they say that, it's nice that they brought rarity to achievements and trophies. And what would be fun on consoles, especially if they... But again, that makes no sense, especially if they bring us all to 0, is to see not only how rare the achievement is, but also how many people unlocked it before you. So, if you are the 12th person, you will see a pop-up of a percentage, diamond, probably, and a 12 somewhere. I don't see how a reset to 0 would affect that. You're still...
It wouldn't at all.
It wouldn't, yeah. You would still be the 12th person, even if you already had a moving gamer score. That was a little bit silly. And I brought this up earlier before we started recording. The issue with this is that you can then extrapolate sales numbers, and that's not something that Microsoft want public. They want sales numbers to be sort of handled when they want to release them. If you are seeing that you're the 1300th person to unlock this achievement and the achievement has a 20% rarity, you can then go, okay, well, 5 times 1300, 6,500 people have bought this game. Man, I hope that math worked.
I have no idea. You just said
5,000. Yeah, 6,500 people have bought this game. So
quick maths.
That sense of rarity, I don't think is going to happen. You suggested maybe more decimal places.
Yeah, and I thought about it after we talked about it pre-show. I suggested that it might be cool to go, you're the 0.0020% unlock, but it's like, really, if you're 0.01, I mean,
do you really care if you're actually
really need it? Yeah.
I mean, again, it would be nice to see it, but I don't think that is the make or break for anyone.
Nah.
Oh, I would get on achievements, but they only show me 2 decimal places in the rarity. So
I don't think that sentence has ever been said until you brought it up.
Yeah, exactly. Planting.
What'd I do?
No, do you want? Do you want?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. This next one was having achievements. Yay! This one was about having achievements reach across games, which, this one's brutal. He wanted people to be able to have achievements in maybe different developer games unlock in one kind of list. Yeah, the way he puts it is like you'll see your list for Rage 2, but next to it's a list of achievements that require work in more than one game. For instance, get 100 enemies in both Rage 2 and Doom Eternal. And then once you've done both tasks, you would earn an achievement. We've had tied achievement lists in the past, and as I recall, they're typically abhorred by the gaming community, because that requires you to own more than one game.
Yeah,
and it's like, which, in that example that they've suggested, would the achievement sit in Rage 2 or Doom?
Or
both. You need to have both games and do it in both games.
So then you have the same achievement in 2 different games. Then.
Yeah. Or is it a separate...
Not really, because he wants to have 2 different... He wants a Rage 2 list and then a developer special list that has, like,
so like an extra list, yeah.
Basically, like, for instance, say they had a list that had you get achievements in Forza 7 and Horizon 4. Mm-hmm. It was like the Forza-thon. Like, it would be like their idea of a Forza-thon kind of idea, that a grander achievement list across developer platforms, kind of. And, yeah, I mean, we've had stuff like that in the past. There's one Madden game, I want to say it was Madden 07, that required you to have an achievement in an NCAA game, I think 07. And there's been others like that over the years, and, yeah.
This
forcing people
one's a no from me, dog.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
No. All right. So the next one here, it says, look to Nintendo's underused stamps. So I don't know what the hell that means. But stamps were hidden items in the games themselves, inside chests in Twilight Princess HD. Oh, my dog just yawned. Or as collectibles in Super Mario 3D World. Once unlocked, they could be used on the system's Miiverse community.
Okay.
So the way
it's
they're
avatar
talking
items.
about that,
Avatar
yeah,
items.
yeah, it reminds me of that on the 360. That would be cool.
Something we have.
I don't know that they've done much
more
on
recent.
the Xbox One with it, but I'd like to. I said when we talked about the Avatar system, I'd like to see more Avatar items. So
yeah,
I
guess
could
more
get
avatar
behind this
items
one.
is good. I would almost suggest as well gamer pics, profile pictures,
Yes,
but
gamer
you can
pictures,
already use
yes.
custom ones, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but that'd still be
I
a
know.
nice touch.
If there
I
wasn't
know I
custom
can
ones,
change mine,
yeah.
but I don't actually know how. I could probably just type it into Google and get it done.
Yeah.
But I think that's a cool thing. It feels good that we're how many in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th one, and we go, yeah, all right, I don't mind that one.
Yeah, because
Right,
it's
and the last-
but it's something we almost already have or had, and then it just kind of went away, and no one would
but
mind
it would still
if it
be
came
good
back.
to see it come back. It'd be cool. All right, and the
Second
not the
last.
last one. Second last one. Enter the Ubisoft Club. So basically, this one has to do with exchanging your gamer score, or if you unlock a certain amount of gamer score, you get a reward for it, like a special emblem for your profile. This one says like a mini warthog for your avatar. I remember my Xbox 360 avatar had the portal cube and my avatar using the portal gun. And you drop the portal cube into it and it comes out one and goes in the other. It's cool. I've seen loads of different good avatar awards like that. I think I saw a Spyro the Dragon one the other day, actually, now that I think about it. That was on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I think either for purchasing or doing something in game. I don't think it cost. I want to say it didn't cost anything. It was either a free purchase or because you bought the game in the first. In fact, I think they had a special, like it was on sale, and said you'll also get this avatar item. And then everyone who didn't buy it in sale was like, where's our avatar item? And they went, oh, here you go. Here's yours, because you already own the game. Something like that. And then, then they talk about just attaching rewards to specific achievements. So you can either use Gamerscore as a quote-unquote currency or just get your avatar awards for unlocking specific achievements, which they already did. So, again, it just seems to me like that same suggestion of something we've already done, and no one would complain if it came back, I guess. I personally would love if I could spend my gamer score in a way that wouldn't reduce my gamer score on things, even if it was just like 1,000 gamer score to $1, 10,000 to $1 would be fine. That I'm at a $60 game at this point. It's not like fantastic, but it's better than the nothing that we'd be getting now.
Yeah, definitely. And the last one here is named Achievement Trading Card Game. So
do you know the Steam trading card things?
I'd never heard of this until I read this article.
Okay, yeah. So Steam has trading cards for games, and although I think it's now limited onto what games can have cards again, because it used to just be any game can have cards, and that would be
them everywhere.
That would be an incentive to people, kind of forcing you to buy the game so you can get these cards rather than buying the game because it was good. So they explain sort of a game may have 10 cards, and again, I also don't know too much about this, but a game may have 10 trading cards on Steam, and as you unlock achievements and stuff and do things, you get the cards. But after unlocking your final card, you might only have about half of them. And you can't get any more cards. So there's 10 cards and you might have 20 slots for cards. You can get duplicates, so it's kind of like a random chance of any of the 20 cards. So if a game has 20 achievements, the game will have 20 achievement cards. And every time you get an achievement, you might get a card you don't have for that game, or a card you already have a duplicate. And then you can trade the duplicate for cards you don't have and try and complete a set, which I guess is kind of interesting, but I wouldn't see myself using it mainly because we don't have it now. I guess if it was implemented, I might. But that, again,
I'm probably not. I'm neither here nor there.
Then you have to set up a more robust marketplace to allow for trading this. Like, whether you want to trade within game or you're looking for anything in these games, and this is what I have to offer. Sort of, that then requires a whole 2 extra sections of development in implementing the cards and then implementing some way to trade them as well. So that's a lot of time.
And that also assumes there's a whole group of people that would be willing to play some sort of trading card game. I mean, there's a bunch of them on the marketplace, but I'm not sure that it's the kind of thing that you can get a very, very large portion of your community actually actively participating in, even if you're giving them out as rewards for achievements or for progress in the games.
I guess if they gave them out and it was cards to an actual trading card game, I guess some people would probably play it.
Yeah,
it's like another meta on playing video games.
Yep,
I suppose.
Alex wouldn't, because he would have spent all that time in Gears of War 5 and not gotten the rare Marcus Phoenix card.
The resupply grenade
keep rubbing
card.
The resupply card.
It's okay. I'll just spend $14.45 of real money on it. Which is $13.45. Anyway, shut your head, Junior. Anyway.
And that was the suggestions. That was everything.
I saw a few people commenting, they need to do something about the unobtainables. Actually, my friend Dean, I think, commented something about the unobtainables, and it's like, yeah, everyone knows the games close up, like the Madden games and FIFA and that, they close up after 18 months, 2 years. You need to get those achievements. Yeah, the discontinued ones, you need to get those done in the time that you have. Anyway. All right. Yeah. So this last article here before we go into the review, it's a pretty serious article. We're going to try and discuss it in a professional kind of manner, but given that we are usually reasonably laid back, we are not deliberately trying to offend people by discussing this article. We all believe firmly that this is an important issue, and especially in gaming, it's an important issue. So we wanted to take some time to talk about this next article. Like I said, we're not trying to upset anyone by talking about it. It is an article about sexual harassment, so if that's something you don't want to hear about, maybe fast forward until you get into the review. But do you guys want to add anything else before we dive into the article?
Yeah, just want to say none of us condone this behaviour. None of us think this is okay. If we sound like we're maybe trying to delegitimize anything that's said in the article in regards to this, we're not. We're just bad at English, and our words are no good, and we're not maybe coming across as we want to. So, yeah, if we sound like we are defending any actions of people, we are not intending to, and we apologise in advance if it sounds that way, and we will try and do better next time if we happen to stuff up. But
yeah, we don't typically discuss
really serious
stuff. Lot of serious topics like this, but it is important to gaming, so we want to talk about it. Warren, anything before we dive into the article?
Same as you guys. Yeah, just I can't imagine we're going to completely fluff it up, but if for some reason we do say something that's just a little bit off, just please understand that it's not us trying to defend this in any way, shape, or form. I mean, this is a vile behavior.
All right. So with that kind of disclaimer for this article out of the way, we'll go straight into it. So the article is titled "Microsoft Vows to Do Better After Sexual Harassment Claims Emerge." So I'm just going to paraphrase a bit of the article, and we'll maybe tread over different parts of it as we move through the discussion. But it's been run on True Achievements by Rebecca Smith. So recently the spotlight has started to shine on working conditions, especially in the wake of working conditions at BioWare during the creation of Anthem. But the latest controversies now arrived out of a source from Microsoft. So apparently there's an email chain that stretched to over 90 pages in length, where many Microsoft employees have recounted stories of sexual harassment and discrimination. And their allegations have been initially passed over by Microsoft's HR department. But now that the senior management have got a hold of it, they've vowed to do better. So it's obviously quite a serious allegation that any company would have 90 pages worth of emails saying either I've been sexually harassed or discriminated or against or both. That's quite alarming. That's the first thing that I think of when I read this opening paragraph. Especially as someone, we obviously all like Microsoft. Some people might even love Microsoft, but when you hear, that sexual harassment and discrimination have been a part of working there, it does, it creates some feelings inside me. So, Kirby, what do you think about this opening paragraph here, or what do you think about the what's been said?
I am shocked at sort of how far it's had to go to be dealt with. And I get that large companies have a lot of employees, and sometimes it's, you miss the small details, but everything I'm seeing in this article and some of the other articles that are linked in this article, it should have never gotten this, it should have been squashed at the first sign, and that it's got this far in such a...
When you say squash, you mean dealt with?
Dealt with, yes. Yeah, it should have
dealt
been...
with in a correct manner. And
it shouldn't have grown
channels.
to this, especially in such a prominent company as Microsoft in gaming. Microsoft is not just in gaming, in everything. Microsoft is a well-known company. Everyone, relatively speaking, knows what Microsoft is, knows that they have, some importance in the world, and that they have allowed these kinds of things to happen is ridiculous. When we get to some of the claims, I'm just reading another article and I'll be able to add more than what's been said in the True Achievements article, because I do believe, True Achievements is a gaming website. They've toned it down a bit just because of the audience that it's presenting to. So, some of the other articles are pretty... It's appalling, some of the behaviour that's happened.
Yeah. Warren, what are your thoughts so far?
Same thing. I mean, honestly, how do you have this many issues get passed over by HR? I mean, you shouldn't have to have this number of problems before it comes to the attention of Microsoft's senior leadership. I can't believe that it's gone on this far, that they've had this many complaints. What's wrong with their HR department?
Oh, you'll find out.
We might as well jump into some of the more finer details here. It says the email chain began on March 20th when a female employee sought advice on how to move up in the company after spending 6 years in the same position with no hint of advancement. The chain then expanded to include claims from dozens of employees regarding sexual harassment and discrimination. These included one woman who received threats to her life if she didn't perform certain sexual acts, which was ignored by HR and dismissed by management.
On this other article expands on it. So they were... these people were on a work trip with an employee of a partner company, the female Microsoft employee. The employee of the partner company threatened to kill her if she did not perform implied sexual acts. She says in the email, I raised immediate attention to HR and management. My male manager told me that it sounded like he was just flirting and I should get over it. HR basically said that since there was no evidence and this man worked for a partner company and not Microsoft, there was nothing they could do. Which is disgusting.
My first thought of reading that sentence, I'm just going to read it one more time. She received threats on her life if she didn't perform certain sexual acts. That's the first part. That was subsequently ignored by HR and dismissed by management. I'm not exactly sure how to word this, but I find it... I don't want to say I find it so difficult. I find it absolutely unbelievable that a HR department could pass over that. And that sounds like I'm saying it didn't happen. I'm not. I'm saying that it did happen, and it's...
And HR
how
dropped
could
the
you,
ball
in HR, not
way.
take that seriously? It includes a threat to kill, which is serious.
Regardless
it includes
of the other
sexual assault,
half,
which is serious. And even though the partner company isn't your company, you still have a contract of some sort with them. So I think that it is absolutely abhorrent that something like this could be gleaned over. I've personally, as a 6'5" male, I've never had to deal with anything that I would consider unwanted sexual harassment. But I also think in the back of my mind that if I ever did have to make a complaint about that, the number one thing that I would want is to be taken seriously. And feel like something would be done about it. And I think that neither of those things have happened here.
Unfortunately, looking at some of the other articles that are linked here, it seems like that's a pattern that's happened time and time again. I mean, there's another example in an article that The Verge covered where a woman and her attacker were both hired by Microsoft and told, oh, it'll be okay, you don't have to work together, and then after doing some reorganization, put the two people together so that they're actually working on the same team. I mean, first of all, why would you even hire an individual that attacked somebody else? And then second of all, even consider it possible to put them on the same... There's some serious issues that need to be addressed with the HR in this company.
Yeah. Another Microsoft employee alleged she was asked to sit on someone's lap while she was working as a quote-unquote Microsoft partner. It was a senior level person in Microsoft. So when she was a partner, she was asked to sit on someone's lap twice in one meeting in front of HR and other executives. I can assure you nothing was done. I alone objected and cited Microsoft policy. The person said that he did not have to listen and repeated the request a second time. No one said anything.
So, the first thing that pops into my head when you say that is... I don't think people often put themselves out there to go, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Because that takes a lot of confidence, I think, and...
especially in that
to
situation
stand up
when
to something like that.
They are senior.
If that's the senior executive, and you're, oh man, I've just been hired as a game developer at Xbox, and I'm in this conference, and the big guy in the room is going, "Hey, come and sit on my lap."
Just come sit on my lap.
You just like
honey,
keep your
sweetie,
head down
whatever.
and avoid eye contact.
Yeah.
But again, you would hope that if you raise that concern later, that it would be taken seriously. I mean, personally, I'd like to think that there's not really a job that I like that much that I could not stand up and say that. I would also hope, and I'm not deluded enough to think that it's the case, but if I stand up and say, hey mate, that's not okay, then I'm not going to lose my job for it. Like I said, I don't think that's a reality, but I mean, if that's a workplace that you work in, I guess in that instance, for me personally, I'd be asking myself, do I want to work in a place that has a culture like this?
Yeah.
And I mean, you answer that question. Everyone answers that question differently, I think. But I would say personally, I'm confident enough to say I think in most instances I would say something about it. But I also don't think that most people would.
Yeah. The other thing it says to me from reading that is the person has said it in a way where they can get away with it as just a joke. You know, where, yeah, they're serious about it, but they've said it in such a way that HR and whoever else there will just interpret it as a joke and, you know, you shouldn't be so serious and whatever else, when it is absolutely serious, and that's not really something, not at all something you should joke about or push even if, you know, it was a joke and whatever, pushing it is just, literally out of, like, I can't even, just... So...
It's crazy to think that people have to go through this. It's crazy to think that their HR department, I mean, presumably in this instance, didn't do enough about it until it was, you know, raised higher, but it's just...
And even then, I bet it wasn't pushed higher, I bet, because the next paragraph says, Microsoft's head of human resources, I haven't named them, but they are named in this article, replied on March 29th after dozens of emails had accumulated on the chain, saying that they had raised the issue with the company's senior leadership team and would personally look into claims that were initially passed over by HR, which says to me HR got the complaints and didn't push it further, you know, it was almost like it was hidden. That
I would agree.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
BBC article on the same topic said that there was court records released in 2018 that said there was 238 internal complaints filed at Microsoft from 2010 to 2016 about discrimination and harassment. Only one of the 118 complaints about sex discrimination was deemed worthy of investigation. That's ridiculous.
Oh my
one
God.
of 118? What? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's... Yeah, I'm not often finding myself lost for words, but I think it's a sad state of affairs, for sure.
I mean, the unfortunate thing is, you can't see much changing. You know, people who caused the issues, however many people it is, potentially lose their job, new people come in, whatever. But that kind of an environment is hard to fix, is a bad word, but so it's hard to fix. It's hard to change that kind of culture when it feels and seems to be quite ingrained into the people that are there. Like, there would need to be a huge reshuffle for change to happen, and that's probably the worst part for me, is that nothing will really come of it. These instances will be dealt with, but what are the odds that
the underlying
it's
problem
handled properly in future?
Yeah. It's changing a culture at a workplace is very, very difficult to do.
Especially such a big one.
Yes, exactly. The larger the organisation, the more difficult it is to do. And I think that if they were to institute change, I think one of the biggest factors to the changing culture struggles is people come along and go, oh, it's the what do they call it, the PC brigade, the political correctness brigade. And it's like, no, it's, if you have a problem with sexual harassment and you want to not have a problem with sexual harassment, that's not being politically correct. That's just not being a crap human being to other people. So, look, I think it takes a lot of time changing culture, because it means you're getting rid of the wrong people, you're looking for the right people to come into those roles. It's something that changes gradually over time. So, yeah, it's a sad article, and like I said, I hope we've done
it justice.
Done it justice.
sorry, one last tiny little thing just to push that culture is the crap culture that's there. There was a round table done with a large number of female employees at Microsoft. There was one employee who had not been called the B word, essentially, in the workplace. One female employee had not been called a... Like...
Wow.
Yeah. It's a pretty... Yeah, it's a demeaning word, that's for sure. And it's specifically targeted to women, so...
At a workplace, like...
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I think that when you... Oh, no, I'm not even going to go down that path. Let's just put a bow on that.
Yeah. Look, we hope there's change.
If you have any... Yeah, we do. If you have any... like after every show comes out, if you'd like to talk about it in the Discord, we expect that you discuss it in a civil manner. Because if you don't, the comments are going to be deleted, just as a warning listening to this.
Yeah.
Because we want our Discord to be a welcoming place and not somewhere that's going, oh, these people sulking about sexual harassment. No, it's an actual serious issue. And we all take it seriously. So we'll be moderating comments that we feel need to be moderated.
Yeah. Not that we expect it from you guys, because you're pretty good, but it happens.
Yeah, things
discussions get heated.
Yeah. And that's fine. Like a heated exchange, keeping it respectful is fine. But like I said, we'll reserve the right to delete and moderate what we need to.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's take a breath on that. We're going to hand pass over to Prue and Mango, who will be on a much sunnier disposition when they're reviewing Deponia Doomsday.
Oh, I don't think you've heard the review then, have you?
No, well, compared to what we've been discussing, I think it's
relatively
quite a bit
speaking,
sunnier.
it's a pleasant review.
Yeah. Alright, they'll take it away now. Thanks, guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's review. I am one of your hosts, Prue, and joining me, as always, is Mighty Mango. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well this evening.
So, what did we get to play this week?
This week we got to play Deponia Doomsday, which was developed and published by Daedalic Entertainment. It was released February 27th, 2019, for the price of $19.95. Originally, it was released on Steam back in March 1st of 2016. So a little bit of an older game to the Xbox community, but relatively new for us.
So there's this, from what I understand, this is a series of games, right? There's three, I think, three or four maybe?
There's 4, actually, but only 3 on Xbox.
Okay. They were all supposed to come, right? And I guess the chronological order is off. Like the second one came out first or something like that, was what I was reading. Anyways, the point is this one is not the first one.
No, this is actually the last one in the series.
Okay.
The first one in the series hasn't been released yet.
On Xbox?
On Xbox.
Okay. Yeah, because when I first started playing the game, was a little confused. And I think a lot of the game you would probably appreciate more if you knew what the heck was going on. But this was my first time ever playing any of these games.
Same with me. The other ones I'd never played, I hadn't even really heard of them.
Yeah, me neither.
But they've been out since, I think the first one came out in December.
Right, okay.
Well, which is the second one. Let's make everybody really confused. The second one came out in December, the third one came out in January, and this one came out in February.
Right. So, if you're not confused, that's what it is. So we played the last one, and it's a very typical, like, classic example of adventure point-and-click type of game. Like, I had flashbacks to Monkey Island and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was thinking that one, the Queen's one, where you're in outer space and those guys on the spaceship, and then you're trying to save the Queen, or like doing it for Britain. I thought it was kind of like that.
Oh, Her Majesty's Spiffing or something like that?
Yeah, that one. That's it.
Yeah. That game was fun.
Yeah.
That game was funny and had a lot of charm. This game, to me, tried a little too hard.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And what is it with characters in point-and-click games where they all seem to be inept and stupid?
Oh my god, this main character is like to the extreme obnoxious.
Yeah,
like
obnoxiously
his
dumb.
buffoonery is just to the a zillionth degree, and it really frustrates me because I'm like, this is dumb. This is so stupid. I mean, everything is silly in the game. Nothing is played serious, which is fine, but it's not that funny.
No,
so
I almost want to play the other games just to see, like, because they blame him for all sorts of stuff in this game, which you have no idea what they're actually blaming him for.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, he's dumb, and all the other characters are silly. It's just silly, lighthearted for sure.
Yes,
but
for sure.
Just trying too hard to be really funny, and it's not. Like, there's a few times I chuckled, but most of it was just like, okay, let's move on with this. I'm done with this section or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
the nice thing is you can skip dialogue with A and then cutscenes with the start button.
Yes, it's very
great.
user friendly that way. There's also a sprint button, which is nice.
Yep.
You
So
could run around. So in that instance, it's very helpful. But I played the first hour or so without a guide, which I do not recommend.
No, I highly recommend not doing what you did.
Yeah, it was. I mean, in all fairness, I do not like these types of games. It's so annoying to run headfirst into a wall because I didn't realize that I needed to combine these 4 different objects that had nothing to do with each other into something to do something entirely pointless. I just hate that type of gameplay.
How about how you have to run back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and you can't just do everything in the one area?
Yep.
Before you get like the queue to go to that area is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, this story, at least in the beginning, has a time travel element to it. So you can actually reset all of your progress over and over and over again, and you may not, if you didn't have a guide, you could kind of do that to yourself indefinitely.
Yeah. And I'm
making
about
progress.
3 hours in, 3 to 3.5 hours in. And the time travel aspect continues and continues. So that's I think the main theme in this game.
Yeah, the hook. Yeah, so if you do like those types of games, though, this is a fairly good example of it, I would say. Like we mentioned, those shortcuts in gameplay, like you can skip all the dialogue and stuff, and you can run around. It's not the worst. There's a button that shows you all of the interactable objects on the screen, on that particular screen. That's also very helpful.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
and
if you
it's
like point and clicks, it's not bad, and it is completable. So.
Right. Oh yeah, let's talk about the achievements then.
So right now it's worth 1584 out of 1,000 on TA. There's 36 achievements for 1,000. Only 34 people have played it, and I'm guessing it's because it's one of those games where it just kind of gets forgotten. Plus, it's also $20.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably the higher price point. They're all $20, right? I think
Correct.
I saw.
And you can kind of see it. I was doing some digging. So the first game had 330 players. Well, the first game, which is the second game. Had 330 players on it. I didn't look to see how many completed it. The second game that came out only has 58, and then this one has 34.
Okay.
So it definitely trails off quite a bit.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so it is completable because 8 people, I think, have it done, right?
Correct.
And there's one problem achievement, which I haven't gotten to that section yet, so I'm not exactly sure of what's going on with
So
that.
it's called the 1001 Jackalopes. So you basically have a machine that you have to create jackalopes. 243 of them, all unique.
Okay. That doesn't sound fun. Like, what are the mechanics? Like, do you have to
It's
just...
basically pulling levers.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yep, and then you get a jackalope, and then you cross off that you bait it with those levers, and then you make another one. And
Oh,
another
jeez.
one. And another one.
Oh, man. That's so
Now,
annoying.
fortunately, the guide I found had multiple links to checklists for every single combination, so you can keep track of where you're at. Because obviously something like that is going to be very monotonous and very boring.
I wonder if the achievement tracker works for it.
I don't know, because I haven't gotten anything that really... Well, no, because I don't think anything's shown for collecting the hats that are in the game, and I haven't seen any progress on that.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, the rest of the list I think is pretty straightforward. It's a lot of missable stuff that you could just easily skip. So the guide is helpful for that as well.
Yeah, very much. Even right at fairly close to the beginning, where you have to give your friend Tuck a shotgun, but you have to give it to him 4 different ways.
Yep.
If you miss one of those ways, you basically have to restart that part. Fortunately enough, I had a save that was close enough, so because I missed one step.
Yeah, Is there chapter progress? Like, could you chapter select? I
No.
never saw it, but I never.
No,
had
there
a
is no
reason to go
chapter
back.
select.
Ugh,
So
that'd be
you
tough
just
to
have
go all the way
to.
through.
It's almost like an old RPG where you have to save often. That's what I recommend
Yeah.
doing, so you don't miss anything.
Yeah, so the list is definitely doable. Obviously, except for that one might be a little grindy, but I think the rest of it's pretty straightforward.
Very much so. I think people got. I mean, the people that have completed the game obviously did that. There's people that have achievements that come before and after the Jackalope achievement. So I'm guessing a lot of people are like, "Nope, I'm not going to do that."
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so I think that's probably it for the list. The game is very pretty. I'd say it's a hand-drawn animation style. It's very cartoony.
It's not art. It's not ugly at all.
Yeah. And the sound design and stuff is fine. It's just if this is your type of game, $20.
It seems a little steep.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll have a bundle when they all come out.
Maybe if it gets a bundle where the bundle's maybe $20, then I would jump on it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, it's like Wallace and Gromit, where each one of those was, they were $5 a piece. Kind of the same idea with those games.
Yeah.
So, but it's doable. I would probably say because of that one grindy achievement, which will take you a couple hours, probably 8-hour game. About that, I'm about 3 hours in, and I know I've got quite a bit to go, including finishing the Jackalope thing. So,
Are you going to do it, or are you going to skip it?
no, I'm going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm probably just behind you. I think I'm 20 points under you right now. So we're right there. I'd say a little bit earlier than halfway point. 8 hours sounds about right.
Yeah.
Which isn't terrible.
No, it's not terrible. It would be faster if you didn't have to do the Jackalopes.
Yeah, that's super annoying. Why would they do that?
I don't know. The other games don't have achievements like that.
Ugh. And this is the one we got, but that's
Yep.
okay. So Deponia Doomsday. Check it out. Maybe if it's a sale or if this is like really your bag. Otherwise, maybe there's some other stuff for you out there. But I think that's it for us. So we'll hand it back to you guys.
All right. Thanks, Brew, and thanks, Mango, for that review. We're going to head straight into the sales this week. So
No.
no, we're not going to go into the sales this week. We're going to go into what we've been playing. I'm looking at it saying what we've been doing. Like, yeah, that's sales. No, that's not sales, Alex. Oh. All right, Kirby, what have you been playing? And then you can tell me about the sales later.
Yeah. I have been doing actually quite a few different little games. First up, the Grand Tour game released its penultimate episode called Survival of the Fattest. The hosts of the show were dropped into the middle of nowhere in Mongolia, and so I had 3 boxes airdropped to them, and it was full of car parts, so they had to put together a car from just like, they called it their flat pack Jeep. So the majority of the events were sort of, you were given a little area, and there were 7 points you had to hit within a certain time. And you could do them in any order you wanted, really, but there was almost always a linear sort of path to take. There are a couple puzzles thrown in as well, which are, in this game, the puzzles are, you're given a 3x5 grid, so you can rotate the square and move to a different square and rotate that, and eventually you make a picture, and it works. So they're reasonably simple. Very easy, very short, didn't have to grind out any of the gadgets, which is nice, because that's can be annoying when you have to randomly find 25 of the new gadget they've added in with the other 13 or so gadgets that are already in there, so you just drive back and forth over the power-up and use it and wait for it to respawn, drive again. Really hoping when the new episode comes out on Friday, it doesn't do that again. I mean, it doesn't add more gadget achievements, because that would be the absolute worst. I have dipped my toes back into Enter the Gungeon since it released its final update, the Farewell to Arms. As I mentioned last week, Enter the Gungeon is a roguelite twin-stick shooter with all of the enemies and stuff being gun or bullet themed. So
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah.
The gun-named bosses. I remember
the
that.
gore gun and the beholster and mine flare. Yeah. There's no achievements for the new update yet. I'm not sure if there's going to be any coming, but there were some additions to the game that would make some of the current achievements significantly easier. So currently I'm working towards unlocking the rainbow mode. So rainbow mode is activated by releasing a person from a jail cell. The jail cells are randomly in your runs, somewhere from the 2nd to 4th level. You just have to find a key and unlock it. It's reasonably easy to release people, but you can only do one per run, obviously, and only if the cell is in that run. So once you get this person out, you can start a rainbow run, which basically just means the start of the level, there's a rainbow chest. Rainbow chest has 8 random items in it. Normally, if you find it just out and about in a standard playthrough, you get to keep all 8 items. In the rainbow run mode, you pick one item. That's the item you've got from the chest, all the others disappear, and that's the only chest you can get. So you can't unlock any other chests that you find along the way. At the end of the fight with the boss, you won't get any items from him, just the item you got at the start of the level from the chest. But the 8 random items are from the entire pool of items, not just stuff you've unlocked, and they can be anything from they have a tier system, so they could be anything from B rank all the way to S rank, so B rank, A rank, or S rank items. So obviously getting them an S rank item at the very start will make things significantly easier as you play. It's things like every enemy you kill increases your damage by 1, and so eventually you're just doing it hits a cap, but eventually you're just doing ridiculous amounts of damage because you're at max damage really quickly. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get that unlocked soon and get some of these achievements for killing all the bosses without getting hit, that sort of thing. That was at Enter the Gungeon. I forget we need to say them again in case people care what we're talking about and forget halfway through my rambling. Played some Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Man, that's a mouthful. Played with Brad, Cameron, and Cam's mate Blistery. We got the Garden Ops on Crazy difficulty achievement done thanks to Blistery's ridiculously overpowered pea shooter because he had max ranked it or whatever, so he'd prestiged it 50 bajillion times, and it wiped the floor with everything, and we were just kind of support. I spent most of the time just healing him, making sure he didn't die, that sort of thing. He also then helped us get all the collectible gnomes, walked us to every location and said, here it is, go get it, and blah, blah. So that was nice. Made that easier. Don't have to worry about that. Just got some of the solo stuff and chipping away at it. Speaking of chipping away, I cooked up some stuff in Cook Serve Delicious 2. It's a good segue, yeah.
I like it.
I finished one of the most difficult levels I've done so far in the game to have all golds in the burger restaurant. If I can manage to get this done, and I said this before we recorded, I think this will be one of the hardest completions I'll have done. And unfortunately, I feel like the ratio won't reflect the difficulty because there won't be enough people that start the game. I get the feeling it's just too niche for, thousands of people to start it, so it'll end up with a 3 ratio when it probably deserves a 4, if not more.
14.
But we'll see. Ooh, I'd love a 14 ratio game. But no, make it games with gold, sorted. Everyone gets the first achievement, which is nearly an insta-pop for...
Yeah.
Because there's a do a tutorial mission. So as soon as you do a tutorial mission, you get an achievement. So that'll be a nice insta-pop, raise that ratio for me, send it through the roof. But no, it's very difficult. I probably spent, because the levels are 5 minutes long, I probably spent an hour and a half on this one level. Yikes. Just trying to perfect it. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm loving it, but it's very difficult.
You were streaming this game at one point as well, weren't you?
Yes, I did a little stream for Cameron to show him what it was. I've now deterred him from playing it by saying how hard it is. But it's actually... Oh, no, it's super easy, and you should definitely play it, Cameron. Play it. Just get one achievement, that's all I need. Yeah. Borderlands Game of the Year edition. Woo!
4K. Is it smooth?
It looks really good, although I haven't looked at it in actual 4K because it's going through my capture card, which is capped at 1080p. So it's a little bit of work to try and look at stuff in 4K, but I should probably do it to see how pretty it is. But no, it's been really fun. I imported my save from the 360 version with my modded weapons and shields. I then did a lot. I've dropped those weapons for some people, duped them so that they can have them. I did a lot of the co-op stuff with Isrek 102, which really, because I was near the end of the game in my playthrough, I'd already done pretty much all the quests, so all of my quest markers just showed where to hand it in. So I just kind of was like, well, I'm just moral support, because you don't need me to help you kill anything, because you have modded weapons, and I can't help you find anything, because all my quest markers just point to the quest giver, so I guess I'm just going to hang around, and you'll carry me to this achievement, and you'll get it as well, because you have to do 15 co-op missions, or missions in co-op. So just kind of just sat on my Xbox while he did missions and got me that achievement. I then immediately started playthrough number 2 and went straight to Cormorax, the Cormorax DLC, so I could power level. I probably went from 36-ish to 61 and got that last level 61 achievement. It's probably like 2 to 4 hours, I want to say, of...
Was Cormorax the giant
crab
thresher?
thing?
A crab.
He's kind of lobster. Yeah.
Just gonna Google a picture of him
Because
I can't remember.
And what I would suggest is, I mean, I was invincible, so I was equally as invincible as Cormorax was. So I would just wait until he summoned little things, and the little things either gave me 8,000 experience, 17,000, or 46,000. And when a level is like 120,000, you kill 3 of those things and you level up. So it was really quite quick. It was just waiting for him to spawn things and going, oh, he's moving, look away so I don't accidentally shoot him and kill him. Didn't want to accidentally kill Cormorax and have to reset the fight. But I did that, got to the level cap achievement. Then I started the Mad Moxie DLC.
That's the one thing I'm dreading with doing Borderlands again.
Okay, how does the sharing it work? Like, if you join my game at the last wave of the last round, you'll get the achievement as well?
Correct.
Okay. So...
back in the day, because there were so many people playing it, you would kind of jump in and out, hoping to find someone on a late wave.
So, I mean, I'm planning on doing it this weekend, the 3 big arenas. I can just chill on the final boss and not die, because I won't die, and people can join me, I guess. I can get 3 people that achievement for each of them. Because I'm planning... I've done the 3 starter arenas of 5 waves of 5 rounds or whatever. So I have the big ones to go. And I'm going to do one on Friday, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. So, I mean, if people want to jump in when I'm near the end, I guess I'm... like, I don't really care if you leech off me. I just can't guarantee you won't die. Like, I don't know how death works in that mode.
I don't think it's...
I don't recall. I think I had a Rose Omega, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a shield that... I think the number of shield it is so high it's rolled over into negatives.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I remember that.
And I know both of my weapons... like, when I shoot things, it the thing pops up saying 0 damage, and they just die. So I imagine the damage number is so high, it's rolled over into 0 again. So, yeah. I mean, it's a point-and-click adventure game for me now.
So you're playing Tales from the Borderlands? I was looking forward to number 2.
Pretty much, it's no, I played it a bunch on PC. I probably played it, I want to say, like, not the DLC because I was a poor little child, but I probably played through the campaign 11 times, 12 times legitimately, so I have no issues running through it quickly with modded weapons and just getting achievements, because that's all I need from the experience at this point. Like, I've had this story many times. I don't need it again. And my big one I want to talk about, even though I talked a lot, my big one I want to talk about is a game called Crimson Keep. It's a first-person shooter, kind of. It's a first-person roguelite game. I picked this up because another TA user, Woop-Woop, sort of challenged me to complete it because he was the first to complete and the only one to sort of progress any sort of distance in the game. It looks very basic. Your two floating hands like Rayman. Your weapons look terrible. The enemies don't look very good. The gameplay is also very basic. You play through the level, kill the enemies, fight a boss, go to the next level.
This game some more, jeez.
Oh, it deserves it though. That's the thing. So it's a roguelike because the level layout is slightly randomized. Same with the enemy types and placement and weapon drops and stuff. Melee weapons are absolutely worthless. They're trash. Don't bother using a melee weapon. Get a ranged weapon as soon as possible because some of them are ridiculously overpowered. And it has a terrible mechanic. At the end of level 2, before you fight the boss, at the end of level 5, after you fight the boss, and right before the final boss, there are doors called soul doors. And you go up, and what you do to unlock the door is die. So you go and you die, and it unlocks the door for any future playthroughs. So then you die at the end of level 2 before you fight the boss. You start again. You get to that point. You can progress all the way through level 5. You beat the boss of level 5. Die to a soul door to unlock it for the future playthrough. Go through all again. At the end of level 5, you go to the next level, which is a boss fight. Next level is an immediate boss fight.
Weird mechanic.
So there's 3 boss fights in a row, and then the final boss. But before the final boss is a soul door. So you kill yourself, go through it all again on whatever character you either choose. A berserker, which is your melee guy. He can pick up ranged, but he's not as good with ranged as he is with melee. But as we all know, melee's terrible. Ranged is okay to good. Or you're a wizard who's good with range and spells, but not with melee. Obviously, you get to the final boss, who's really quite easy. You kill her. You beat the game on your 4th playthrough because you're a god and you didn't die ever before this, either to falling off the levels or to the hunger, which if you don't eat food, you will get hungry and you will starve and you will die. And you beat the final boss and you're awesome, and then you realize you have to do it on the other character. And you have to beat 9 bosses without taking any damage, of which only 1 counts per run. So you actually have to do 11 runs where you have at least 1 boss without taking any damage, and you have to eat 300 food items and break 1,000 barrels, and it's a grind as well as being stupidly difficult because of the mechanics. From the achievement list, I think there's 70 or so people who've started the game.
73.
73. 2 people have gotten to the second soul door. Myself and Woop-Woop. No one, as far as I know, has gone further than the first soul door, aside from myself and Woop-Woop. I do not recommend this game. Gameplay wise, the combat's, look, it's relatively easy. Melee weapons are just underpowered, and you are very easy to get. It's very easy to get attacked when you're in melee range, and also sometimes you're not really sure why you missed or why you hit in some circumstances, because your range is kind of, it changes whether you're going to hit them or not. That's why any ranged attack is way better, because it's a lot easier because you're not going to get hit. It's just, I think it's a 2-man team that made it, and it shows, because it's just, there's so many quality of life things that don't work. Interfacing, using your inventory is just awful. It's almost the worst part of the game. and the game forces you to die 3 times before you can beat it. Like...
So I've just clicked onto the announcement news article for the game, and the first comment is from Carnage, who says, "Made a bunch of solutions for this so far and working on more. Pretty sure it will be a fairly easy 1K, just a bit grindy."
Yeah. Yeah. He hasn't made it to the second soul door.
Just like, yeah, okay.
And, so I've beaten the game with the Witch. I need to do it with the Berserker. But it's just... Yeah. Yep, only 2 people have done the second soul door, myself and Wakapil. Yeah, it's not great. I don't recommend playing this game. I think it's a $20 game, $25 game. I picked it up for $5 from someone I know. Because, and it's a roguelite thing, is that there's replay value, so we're going to bump up our game to way overpriced. Almost all roguelite games are overpriced. They're all around that $20, $30 mark when really they're $15 games at best, but...
It's $29.95 Australian.
$29.95 Australian. So it's probably $20 US, if I had to guess. Let's check. It is... Yeah, $19.99. Way overpriced for that. Just not worth it. It's not a good game.
So what kind of Gamerscore did you get this week?
I have 1,700. I got 1,700. I talked for a long time. I'm sorry, but just please don't buy Crimson Keep. Just don't. Don't do it.
What if another user on the website challenges you to it?
No, just say no. Your challenge is dumb. You can go to hell. I've heard about this from ChinDocta. He is 4th on the True Achievements roguelite leaderboards. He would know his stuff. You can go die in a hole.
That is way too overpowered. Okay.
You clearly haven't played the game. I'll buy it for you.
Haven't.
You can play it.
No. Oh, so you're telling people not to buy it, but then you'll tell me you'll buy it for me.
Yeah, I'll buy it for you so you can put it on your tag and then you're stuffed.
Oh, no.
I'll see if I can log in as you. I'll put it on your tag myself.
Warren, what have you been playing this week? I don't think you can log in as me. Anyway.
I'm right.
Let's see. This week, let's start with Magic 2015. I finished all the achievements in the main game. This is the Xbox One version. I'm down to just boosting the online matches now, which I have a partner lined up, so we'll start working on it this weekend and hopefully bang it out over the course of the week. So that would be nice to get that thing done. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Me and a few other people were under the impression that this game was removed from the marketplace and has suddenly reappeared on the marketplace, although there's no proof of it. So we're all under the assumption that it's one of those random things, where like we're in another universe and get popped into something else, and we're all just kind of confused. I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, there's more than just me now that was under the impression it was removed from marketplace, but is back on the marketplace. So hey, maybe you want to grab it for the $10 it's on there for, just in case it disappears again, or maybe I'm just completely delusional. That's also entirely possible. Second up this week, and still not an amazing game, would be Zakaria Pinball. It's the new game that came out for free relatively recently, last few days. You can theoretically unlock all of the achievements on the free table, but if you actually want to do it without pulling your hair out, you're probably going to want to spend at least $10 and buy one of the packs to make it a lot easier. I'm not going to suggest you do that because you're literally just buying achievements. They're not great pinball games, in my opinion. I think Pinball FX was a much better implementation of it. Correct me if I'm wrong if you think these are great, but I wasn't getting the same kind of feel out of them as some of the other pinball games we'd played.
Okay.
Metagal. It's a new Ratalaka game. Nothing really memorable about it. It kind of reminded me of Now that
Mega Man.
Mega Man.
NES.
Thank you. Yes, because it's I don't know. It feels like it's a clone of it, just not a particularly good one, and it's very quick. I think it took me 25 minutes So, yeah.
That's good.
Play it.
Do you not
play it? Gets 1,000 G and move.
Do you not
on.
remember me talking about this last week?
No, it's that not memorable.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Apparently, it's a clone of Mega Man, and it's awful, but it's only like 15, 20 minutes, so...
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want 1,000 G, there you go. Yeah. Nothing special.
No.
Dead or Alive 6. I started playing that because you can play all the achievements for free. And unfortunately, the fighters you get, they give you 4 fighters to play with. Kasumi, Bass, and 2 that are not coming to mind. One of them's a new one of them's a repeat. None of them are the ones I really like using, so they kind of want me to buy characters. I'm resisting the urge to. But yeah, you can technically unlock all the achievements, all 1,000 G without buying anything. Your mileage may vary depending on how good you are, because there's some combo mode challenges that require you to input button combos, and that comes down to how good you are with doing the moves. Some of them are timing based. I've had some real issue with doing some of the thumbstick twists. So
I've heard Bass is a good character for that.
Oh, okay, cool. I was trying to do Kasumi's. I'll try Bass then.
But there are just some, there are some of the buttons aren't actually told that you need to press. It's weird. The timing is easy, but it doesn't tell you some of the buttons that are just, I guess, implicit. I don't know. Dumb, but...
Oh, maybe that's why I'm missing one of the moves I'm missing. Maybe I'm trying to do something and there's actually another button pushing it. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, it's not a bad game. I would totally recommend it for the $0 it costs to play it. Let's see. Instant War Windows 10. It's kind of a clone of War Planet Online. Seems like it's probably going to be about as long of a grind. There's a bunch of TA alliances, and Kushmoose apparently promoted me to general of the TA3 alliance. So now I guess I can kind of help out with some people that are trying to get some of the achievement progress in that, because there's a weird process involved with restocking some of the purchases you can make for your P shields and stuff like that for achievements. Anyways, we're about to be able to get another 4 people into the alliance, so there'll be some room. And if you do join, please make sure you teleport to where we are, because it makes defending you a lot easier. And there's achievements for helping defend people anyways, so you might as well be there for that.
I'm sure that makes sense if you've played the game.
It's not achievements. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Basically, if you've played those kind of games, it's where there's a big online map where people have a city and you can send your troops to attack other people. There's people all over the map sending troops to attack cities, and if your city's not near where all of our other cities are, it takes forever to get to you to protect you. Whereas if you're all in a big clump, it makes protection a lot easier. Yeah, I guess it makes more sense if you played it.
Yep.
Rock Band 4, for whatever reason, I finally plugged in my wireless old school adapter so I could play with my old drum kit and busted out some of the random drumming achievements. Reminds me of how bad I am at drums, so I just did the 2 achievements and promptly turned them off.
Yeah, man.
Yep. I don't know how people do that. I'm a solid easy.
I think I was beginner on drums.
Beginner, yeah. I can do beginner. I can definitely do that.
Was there one that was just a kick drum?
Yep, that's the one I did. Put no fail on. Only hit the kicks. Didn't do anything else.
Nice.
That was easy.
That's the way to
and
go.
then there's one for doing 10 of the new drum fills, which was just a matter of playing Polly, I think, 10 times.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Which is one of the easiest Rock Band songs. I got that a while back so I could FC a song on Expert, because there's 30 notes or something.
Wow.
It's a sad song on drums. Paladin. I started in on the game. I don't even remember what it was about at this point. I wasn't really impressed with it, so I'll probably go back to it later.
So it's Paladin and not Paladins, right?
Correct. Paladin is a 1 hour completion, 1 or 2 hour completion.
Twin stick, defend the little
It's
towns.
a side-scrolling, Space Invaders. No, that's not right.
What's that,
It's
missile
like a
defense?
side-scrolling
Kind of.
game where you have to defend your towns from aliens. You play as a ship that can shoot the aliens. I actually
Yeah,
played
you
this
can
at
buy
Tarragon's
upgrades and
house.
stuff.
Finished it at Tarragon's house as well, so it's not that hard. Just takes. I think it took us about 45 minutes.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I was playing it at like ridiculous late time of night, and I'm just like, this is just not fun. I don't want to play this now. I'm going to bed. Unfortunately, due to all the other random stuff I've been doing this week, between playing this stuff, working, and trying to get the next TA event rolled and ready, I haven't played a whole lot of Neverwinter. I've just been doing my logins to get my items.
You've
Right?
not been
Can you
playing
imagine?
it. Planting. No.
I know.
You need to log off
But-
now. Go play right now.
I should. You know what? I'll be back, guys. No,
BRB.
Nah, yeah, Neverwinter, whatever. I'll come back to it. I guess I'm just kind of bored with the last update they made. It was kind of lackluster.
I'm guessing
The new
it's not
patch
going
is coming
anywhere.
out soon. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they make so much money off their microtransactions. I don't see that game going anywhere anytime soon. And then Elite Dangerous. We're not doing a meetup this week because 2 out of the 3 members have other plans, unfortunately, for Friday night. So we're just doing a bit longer of a journey and doing a meetup in 2 weeks' time. I believe Tarragon already made it there. So it just leaves Tony and I to kind of play catch up now.
You guys slacking.
So, right?
Put those light years in, man. Come on.
Oh, we'll do it. Don't you worry. So all together, and mostly thanks to like Metal Gal and the cheesy achievements I've got in Dead or Alive, I pulled off 3,040 Gamerscore this week.
Alright, well, I'm on the bottom of the Gamerscore and the games played, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, it's not much
I only
has
played-
changed, though.
Yeah, okay, thanks, mate. So, I only played 2 games this week. So, I got up at 4:50 a.m. for
Wait,
a 5.
that's a lie.
What?
You had to have played 3 games this week.
Why? No.
Don't tell me you didn't play Rocket League.
I did not play Rocket League this week.
What?
I did not
Do you have a
play.
fever? Are you okay?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just talking to Chocolate Bear about fevers on Discord just before the show. So I didn't realise what a high fever was. Maybe I had one all week and didn't realise. I don't know. But I didn't play Rocket League, so...
You're just waiting for the new Rocket Pass, that's all. You're like,
Yeah,
no point
yeah.
playing without a Rocket Pass.
Yeah. Well, the first game I played was the Unreal Tournament 3 game on the 360. So I got up at 4:50 a.m. for a 5 a.m. session on Saturday morning. It was just for winning a ranked match of each type. Now, this was almost a problem for me because Saturday morning is when daylight savings changed over. So I was looking on True Achievements and it's like 5 hours until this session starts. And I'm like, okay, I got to set my alarm for 5 a.m. And it's like, it says that's in 6 hours. And I couldn't conceivably get it in my head, like what time I had to wake up. So I ended up setting a timer for, I think it was 5 hours and 17 minutes when I went to bed. I woke up, I hopped on it, played for an hour and went back to sleep. So, I don't know, man. These daylight savings trip me out. But the other game, so I'm continuing through Deus Ex Mankind Divided. So I really have been enjoying the game. I'm most of the way through the first playthrough, which is a stealth playthrough. Don't know if I'm going to try the hard one life difficulty yet. You can cheese it by manipulating local and online saves, but I don't know if I want to play 8 hours again for just the one achievement. So I've also been going... So you guys might find this funny. So I've been going for a no kill, no alarm, for which there's an achievement for doing both of those. So the Foxiest of the Hounds and the Pacifist achievements. So in one of the earlier levels, I was just running around jumping because the police just look at you like, what are you doing, mate? And I jumped on a police car, and it set an alarm off. It set a car alarm off, right? But the thing is, the police didn't come after me and there was police right next to it. They turned and looked at me, didn't get the suspicious yellow. They didn't turn alarm red. So I can't remember if I reloaded the save or not. And I'm not sure. So I'm like, okay, even if I did it in like the third last level where I did it again because I'm an idiot. And like I said, the police didn't come after me. And I can't remember if I reloaded that one either. So, actually, I'm pretty sure I did not reload that one. So, I'm hoping that those alarms don't actually count to the Foxiest of the Hounds achievement, but I don't really know. Oh, man, I don't know.
Then you're going to think you've been gypped and you haven't.
Oh, I'm going to be super pissed off if it does. The story is probably what interests me most about this game. So there's a divide, I mean, as the title says, mankind divided, between the augmented humans who have, augments like, robot arms and robot legs and, upgraded eyes and all that kind of stuff, and the natural humans. There's a divide between the two. And the segregation playing through the game is very reminiscent of a black and white racist divide. I think about that a lot when I'm playing that game. It's like, you'll be harassed by the police and they're like, oh, you damn org, get away. And I just thought, if you replace that word org with a racial slur, it fits so, I don't want to say well, because that's not what I'm trying to say, but it fits if you were having like a black and white person divide. It was white cops and you're a black player, then it would fit really, true to life, I think. But the narrative it's really, really good. I really enjoyed that part of it. So I think I'm on to either the second last or the last level now. And when I finish that, there are 2 story DLCs and a breach mode that I need to play. The breach mode's like a challenge room type of thing, but I'm not super keen on playing it, but it's there. The ratio achievements for breach mode are so high, and I don't think they're anywhere near the difficulty needed to go and get it done. Anyway, 410 Gamerscore, not much this week, so anyway. 3rd out of 3, once again.
It's alright though, you good Gamerscore.
I got some sick ratios.
Yeah.
Actually, that Unreal Tournament achievement was 20 Gamerscores, 97 true achievement points, so,
I'm
pretty schmicko.
Sitting on 3.28 for the month. That's a good ratio.
Who? Me? You? Okay.
Yeah, my 2, so...
Until you play Metagal.
I already did, I think.
Some other games. Okay.
Wait, no.
All right, well,
wait, April.
What
have I...
Yeah, we're only 9 days into it.
Oh, yeah, I'm at 2020 Gamerscore and 6600 TA.
That's pretty solid. What's going on with the sales this week?
Okay, so sales are relatively weak, but that's because we have the spring sale starting on, I think, Friday morning for Australians, so it'll be late Thursday night for people in Europe, and midday Thursday, I think Thursday like 4 p.m. Eastern, roughly, for Americans. And that's going to have, it'll have a lot of the stuff we expect, a lot of the Assassin's Creeds, the Far Cry's, your probably Deus Ex Human Revolution, all those sort of the standard sale games we expect and stuff like that. But I'm sure there'll be something in there that I don't own and I want to buy. But because of that, we don't have great sales this week. We've got currently 4 games in our quick points or easy points sections. In quick points, we've got Mechanica.
Oh,
Mechanica.
That game's so good.
Yeah.
Mechanica, yeah.
That's right,
Great.
Totally
game.
recommend.
Really good point and click. 25%, $4.49. Fun art style, fun dialogue, fun everything.
Yeah, real zany, cool story.
Yeah. I think it's just over an hour, isn't it? Or
Just 1 to 2 hours, sure.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
As for our easy points, that might be a bit longer. The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, 40% off, $7.79. Good FMV game from Wales Interactive. They do pretty good with their sort of interactive movie, you'd almost say. Time Carnage, 50% off.
I certainly liked it. I'm looking forward to playing it, Sorry, that was a bit delayed.
What?
I really want to play the Dr. Decker game.
Yeah.
Kind of
It is
Infectious Madness.
Oddball. It's very
It
much
is
an
very
oddball
weird.
game.
Especially when you get real deep into the story of the marinara sauce.
Yeah.
See, you know what... I assume you've played it, Planting.
Yes.
See, you know what I mean when I say marinara. I'm not actually... Yeah. I just... That's... There's a character in it called Mariana. Or something like that. And all... Like, I saw the name and read it and ingested it as marinara sauce. And that's what it was for the rest of the game. That's like I couldn't think of her name as Mariana. It was always marinara.
Because it just kind of makes more sense, but...
Yeah. But no, I've also got the shape-shifting detective I need to do as well. That one seems pretty fun. Same actors, I think.
I believe so.
Oh, and
Is that also a Wales game?
Yep, Wales Interactive. I want to say also, and we've gone tangenty, but that's what we do. I want to say they did a live show of the Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker recently. Like they did an interactive live show theater performance somehow.
Oh, that would be weird.
And, you know, it could have gone, I think there was 3 endings they had planned. And depending on how things went.
I will have a look at this while you continue on with the sales.
Because that would have been really weird to go to. Interesting, but weird. Time Carnage, 50% off, $6.24. It's kind of an on-rail shooter. It's more of a you don't move, you can rotate and shoot things. I think it was a VR game that was ported to Xbox, and you sort of stand in a VR kind of... You've seen sort of the VR things where you're just in a circle and your guns are in front of you and you just sort of point and shoot. Hordes, waves, not really that difficult, but can be annoying, I guess. A little bit grindy. And The King's Bird, which is 30% off and $13.99, and I know literally nothing about it except that the ratio isn't too high and it's a 5 to 6 hour completion according to TA. I know nothing about this game. Nothing.
Be wary of those completion times. I've had several be like, "Oh yeah." Like for instance, the game I'm gonna recommend and probably buy.
Yeah.
Has a lowish completion ratio and a very high,
TA ratio.
a very high ratio to it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's I feel like it's 1300 TA. I'm just going to quickly check.
Oh, that's not bad.
Like I usually don't put them in if they're 1300. 7 out of 13 people have completed it. So that sounds like it's probably not. And the other 3 have dived it. So, oh wait.
All right. So I've looked up this Dr. Decker, and what I've found is that they're doing the Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker live. So it says, following on from our critically acclaimed and Guinness World Record breaking video game, The Infectious Madness Dr. Decker and the Shape-Shifting Detective, we're now looking to offer the same Dr. Decker video game experience, but as an interactive live performance streamed worldwide. So it goes on to say you'll be playing the patient in therapy and people will type questions and you need to ad-lib and improvise based on the information given to you. So, yeah, you were...
Okay. So the world record it has is the world record for most full-motion video in a video game. Previously held by Wing Commander 4.
Wing Commander 4, I mean...
I don't know what that is.
I haven't even heard of that game.
7 hours, 11 minutes, and 58 seconds of full-motion video.
Wow.
7 hours, okay.
Okay. I wonder if they topped that with well, I mean, probably not, otherwise there'd be a news story about it, but... Wow, 7 hours. That's a
long movie.
Yep.
That's like the first Harry Potter film, or the Avengers film that's about to come out.
Yeah, that's got more full motion video. Come on. Anyway.
It's a long film.
Host recommendations. Warren, what are you recommending?
I'm going to go out on a limb because I know nearly nothing of this and probably will be buying it based on the crazy sale it's on. Redout Lightspeed Edition. Looking at the game clips, it looks kind of like a Wipeout-ish clone. And I'm kind of crazy about arcade racers anyways. This thing came out in like August of 2017 and only has like 2,000 tracked gamers. So I'm wondering if it was the original $30 price tag that stopped people. But it's going on sale 70% off for $11.99. That's probably going to be a purchase for me.
Yeah. Alex?
Zombie Army Trilogy, 80% off, $9.99. It's got zombies in it. You shoot them. It's made by Rebellion, who make the Sniper Elite games, and Strange Brigade. It is a lot of fun. It plays like a B-movie zombie film, but it
Which
just
is
works
the best
so
kind
well.
of zombie films.
Well, that's a debate for another day. But it's a very fun game, and I love it.
Low to mid-budget zombie movie. The low to mid-budget horror movies are the best. Your high-budget ones are terrible. Always.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you recommending, and not in horror films?
I am recommending the Grand Tour game. It's only 25% off, but that's $11.24. You get 1,400 Gamerscore, a little bit more because there's a new episode coming out Friday, which will be the final episode. So it'll be completable finally. You can finish it and call it finished, and it'll be done. I think it's currently sitting on just over a 2 ratio, but it's under a 2 ratio in terms of difficulty. It's just that all of the updates are title updates, so it calculates for everyone who's ever played the game. It's no Forza Horizon 4, but it's a great arcade game. Some of the levels will feel repetitive, some of the events will feel repetitive, but the way they intersperse it with the real life bits of episode that they have filmed works really well, and it does feel like you're playing an episode of the Grand Tour, and the comedy is there, the quips and the lines are there. There's a bit of a grind, but look, you could get a lot worse arcade racing games for $11. You could get Redout Lightspeed Edition. No, I kid. I'm sure. I've never played Redout. I've heard good things. But
Look, it's got a pretty high ratio,
mine
so
is,
I mean, I'll let you know when I play it.
Mine's 75 cents cheaper than planting, so I'm just saying, save 75 cents.
Do you want a game that's 25% off or 70% off? Man, it's the savings. You gotta count your savings.
Yeah. You're saving a lot more with Lightspeed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Redout, even.
Actually, I think you're doing a better job with Alex's recommendation. But yeah.
Yep. Zombie Army Trilogy, do it. It's the cheapest and the best game out of the 3 that have been mentioned.
Yeah. Are you planning on buying anything, Alex?
Nope.
Nope, didn't think so. Warren, aside from Redout, is there anything that interests you?
No, because I already have Mechanica. I've got Decker. I'll probably wait for a steeper sale on Kingsbird.
Yeah, that's the only one on my list as well, Kingsbird, because 30% is okay, but it's kind of it's gone, I think it's relatively new, so it's gone on sale fairly quickly, so we'll see what the spring sale holds, and maybe I have a spare $15 on a gift card that I can throw its way. Anyway, moving on, we have new games. Lots and lots of new games. Lots of stuff coming out this week. First up, tomorrow, Wednesday, or today, Wednesday, depending on how my editing goes, we have Vaporum, which is a steampunk dungeon crawler. Don't know anything about it. I think it's been out on Steam to rave reviews, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. But steampunk dungeon crawler sounds pretty interesting. I don't think we've got many. I don't think we do many steampunk games, do we?
No, there's that
Really?
Tesla versus Lovecraft. It's kind of steampunky, but
Yeah.
Is that game any good? Because
it's okay.
I thought I might want to play
It's
it.
okay, but then you have to play through it 3 times.
Okay.
You get like all but 4 achievements on your first playthrough, and then you have to play it on the slightly harder difficulty, and then the hardest difficulty after that. Or it's not, I mean, it's not much harder, but you're forced to do 3 playthroughs, really. Cook Serve Delicious 2 comes out tomorrow. Hopefully more people will play it, and that'll bump up that ratio for me. I doubt it, but hopefully. I don't know what price it is. If it's cheap enough, it'll be good. It's probably like $50, because of course it is. Gleaner Heights comes out tomorrow, which it looks like Stardew Valley, but slightly different. I think it's still that farming thing, but some of the dialogue is a little bit weird. I saw there's a screenshot where you were talking to a person and they said, chickens can't peel bananas, and that's why chickens are atheists.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect sense.
Yeah. And I think the other one was, I'm open from 8 a.m. to 14 p.m. If you ever need to buy anything, welcome to Gleaner Heights. Which I get what they're trying to say, but maybe there's just translation errors, localization errors. 14 p.m. is a really long time. Super Weekend Mode is the new Ratalaika game that comes out tomorrow. Looks pretty quick from the achievement list. So I imagine it's not going to be too difficult. It is Ratalaika, but maybe they'll do one of their slightly harder games for once. Who knows? I don't think so this time. Thursday, we have Shadowgate, which is a remake of the 8-bit game.
Which is kind of odd if you think about it.
Never heard of this.
We've already played this one. I've already played this once. It's on the
in the
3
Volume 1 arcade 8-bit collection.
So I mean, I'm cool with playing like a remake of it, because I remember I actually have that and Deja Vu on like the NES from way back in the day.
Yeah. So the list looks like it would be something that could be walkthrough'd, especially given the game is what it's. I mean, I assume the game plays the same, the gameplay, where it's that you move forward into the room and you can do your actions or whatever. If it doesn't, it plays a bit more like an action game. That's going to be different, though there is achievements set. I think there was one I saw, it was like complete master mode in under 1,000 turns, or moves, I guess. So it seems like something you could get a good solid walkthrough for and complete it in a reasonable amount of time. Friday, we have the final episode of the Grand Tour game, as I mentioned. Highly looking forward to this. Taking the day off work so I can try and be the first to complete. It'd be nice. And Flutter Bombs comes out Friday as well. That's our giveaway game for the random to-do list. On Tuesday, we have the DLC for Human Fall Flat, which is the new levels called Dark. There should be 3 achievements related to that update coming, but grain of salt, they might, I don't know, things might go horribly wrong, but I'm fairly certain there are 3 achievements coming with that.
DLC or
a World War Z? Probably title update, okay. Sorry, yeah. I imagine title update. That's what they have done previously. World War Z comes out on Tuesday. You're looking forward to that, Alex? Yeah.
I think so. I think I'm kind of off Generation 0 until it's all fixed.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I might hop on World War Z. I don't know. I'm just about finished Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Well, that's a lie. I'm probably about halfway through all the achievements. Mm-hmm. And then I can start the other side of the whiteboard. So
have
I
you
can
got
start
the DLC
whatever I want. For what?
For Mankind Divided?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
enjoy.
It's been on sale for like $3.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Like the whole season pass. There's 2 story DLCs.
Yeah. Enjoy them.
That's not what you're saying enjoy about, is it?
Yeah, no. I've not heard great things about the DLCs.
Yeah, the Breach Challenger is probably going to be the sucky part.
Okay.
We'll see.
That
ratio, though.
My Time at Porsche comes out on Tuesday, which I don't want to say it's Stardew Valley but different, but it kind of just seems like Stardew Valley but different in like a 3-dimensional setting rather than So you're in a little town and you're taking over your grandpa's store or something like that, and so you need to make it better and do little quests and stuff. So it feels very kind of thematically like what Stardew Valley had, but different, better. It's been pretty hyped. I've seen it on Steam and it's been doing really well there, so I have high expectations for it here. I imagine other people do too. World of Warships, which I imagine, Warren, you might be hyped for.
Yeah, why not? I think me and like one other person mentioned it on TA when we were like excited for what was coming out this month.
Yeah.
I think there was like, oh no, not the World of Tanks guys. We don't want more achievements from them. But it's probably going to be yet another one of those, 100 plus achievements.
Yeah. Still, I mean, the gameplay's solid in World of Tanks, isn't it? It's
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I imagine
it favors the premium ammo, but you don't need it, and you can technically get the premium ammunition with regular currencies. So,
yeah. Still, should be good. I imagine that'll have a skyrocketed TA pretty quickly. Yeah. And my hype is the Final Fantasy X and X-2 remaster release on the Xbox. That comes out on Tuesday as well, and I have, Tuesday, and then Tuesday through Monday off, so I doubt I will be sleeping, because that game will be out. Then I work 2 days and have another 4-day weekend. So, I think there's going to be a lot of time I put into this game in the next week after release.
So I'm going to be off from, Thursday through to Wednesday. I go back to work on Thursday, and then it's Easter weekend, so I've got 4 more days off.
And then Anzac Day on Thursday.
And then Anzac Day, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
so that's why I have school holidays next week, so I don't have to work. And then, which rolls into Anzac Day, which is, the Easter holidays, which is the worst. It means you get one less day off during the year. It's horrible. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Anzac Day, Thursday, and then there's pupil free day because the teachers have professional development, but I don't have to go to that, so it's great. Long weekends are best. So much gaming time to do. But that's all the new games. As for knobs and discos, we're still in sort of cleanup of some really old stuff, so there's not much new that's been marked. Saints Row the Third, both versions have had their, I think it's called Sanctified for like uploading your character. It used to hit the server check, and even though it wouldn't go through, it would still unlock the achievement. I don't think it does that anymore, so those are discontinued, both the German and the international versions. The only thing that's been fixed is a game that I doubt any of our community have, but Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. I don't see. My problem is
Naruto to Boruto.
The thing is, I don't know if it's an English to or a Japanese to, because those are both words and both make sense in this. In Japanese, that would be and, so it'd be Naruto and Boruto.
That almost makes more sense to me than.
But it could also be but to make sense. It just I don't. So I'm like I don't know if they just didn't bother to like translate it or because if they didn't translate it, 4 of those words are not English. Both names, the to and shinobi, are not English. The only English word is striker. So logically, they might have not translated it from Japanese, but I just don't know. I just rambled. The unlock all achievements achievement got fixed. So
yes.
What, you mean the platinum?
Game still.
Yeah, the platinum. Yeah. So all you Naruto fans can go play those 8-person boosts. Yeah, I know, awful. I think you need. It's teams of 4, and they have to be real people. I don't think you can do it with bots. So you need to find 8 people that play the game. I don't think there were 8 people that played the game at launch. Anyway, that's all of that. Let's move on to milestones. Alex, you better do this because my mouth is dead.
Well, lucky there's not many milestones, I guess. Posty's hit 300,000 True Achievement points. Nerve Bullet has hit 200,000 Gamerscore. Lord Chabello 13 is currently on a 1,750 day achievement win streak. And ChinDocta, heard of that guy before?
My cousin.
Yeah, the cousin that fixes chins, right? 1,500 games played.
I wish I'd done that with something more impressive. That was me trying out flutter bombs to see if it was terrible and whether I should offer it as a prize.
Alright, well, there we go. That's that done. So it's a longer episode today, so hopefully you guys enjoyed all the content, but we'll go through where you can find us individually now. So, Planting, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, on Discord, on Live, on TA as Planting42.
Kirby?
I can be found on Twitter, Discord, True Achievements, Xbox Live, or on Mixer, all at ChinDocta. That is ChinDocta. ChinDocta.
ChinDocta. Alright, and you can find me on Xbox, on True Achievements, on Twitter and Mixer. It's ProfessorPluto. And on Twitch, ProfessorPluto1. Alright, we're all finished. There you go. Enjoy that episode, guys. We'll see you.
Wait, no. How do we find it? How do we contact?
Yeah. I keep forgetting to do this part, don't I? It's late, man. It's 10:42 at night. I need to get to bed. Alright, if you want to contact the show, we would love you to do so, despite me trying to get the intro done. You can find us on emails, hello@realgamerscore.com. You can send us a tweet on Twitter @realgamerscore, and you can join us in Discord, discord.io/realgamerscore. If you would consider supporting us with real money, patreon.com/realgamerscore. That's the place to go. Alright. We're done?
We're done
No,
now.
we're not done.
What?
No, we're not done. You've got to subscribe on all the podcast platforms. Leave us reviews, tell your friends, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Alright. I've butchered the outro.
That's alright.
It wouldn't be a show of ours if I didn't butcher the outro.
If the outro was perfect, it would not be the Real Gamerscore podcast.
Well, one day I'm going to do it properly and people will be like, oh my god, did you do that right? Like, no, we pre-recorded it.
Took 17 takes.
Yeah. Alright. Now we can go. Alright. See you later, everyone. I'm waving to my camera. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.